Okay, just quick agenda. So we'll touch on the introduction with the project scope, and then we'll talk about the urban design conditions that we considered for this project and get into the building design following that. So this project is located at basically the end of Student Union Boulevard, just north of the existing Life building and to the east of the Bosque. So the facility itself is about 9,400 square meters, or just over 100,000 square feet. And it's largely a fitness facility. So there's 3 gymnasia, a large fitness component, walking and running track, multi-purpose rooms, change rooms, and some associated administration space. There is a public realm component that's somewhat related to this project to the north of the building itself. And then for this project and development permit submission, the scope boundary is basically about 6 meters outside of the building itself and extending all the way to the south to the face of UBC Life. So some of the first kind of core principles of the project, we're looking at the existing urban context. So considering Student Union Boulevard coming down, there was a kind of a predefined street wall that was created by the Exchange building to the east. And so this massing of the project takes reference from that and continues that street edge down to the public realm area. And then from the west, we basically took the east edge of the Life building that faces the Bosque as our western extent. And then this project also considers its interface to Athletes Way along the eastern edge. Another key kind of thoroughfare and consideration for this project was the existing student services spine that runs all the way through the existing Nest building, through the Life building, and kind of currently ends quite abruptly at that northern edge of Life building. So what this project strives to do is carry through that alignment through this project into the north public realm area, and at the same time mediating the 2 levels of Life that face onto the north edge. And so with the intent of really carrying through that spine all the way through the public realm to the north through a sloped exterior walkway that basically bisects the building mast into 2. Considering the solar access to the northern public realm, pushing down the western edge of the building and in the northwest corner allowed greater access there, as well as considering how the building mass can open up and become a little more inviting to that Athletes Way interface on the east side. And then concurrently to considering those urban design considerations, we were exploring the program itself and considering the kind of dimensionally constrained 3 gymnasia. They made sense in the blue here to be on the eastern portion of the mass, and then the remaining fitness area being on the west kind of smaller mass with views out to the Bosque as well as to the north public realm. And then kind of a little shared podium that connects the 2 with a main atrium space, a change rooms, and the admin space. So we'll go through 3 context sections just showing the building along this one, looking along Student Union Boulevard to the south. So showing the existing Exchange building and then the SRC, the Athletes Way connection and its kind of proportions, and then the rec building itself with the Bosque to the east. West. This one looking along Athletes Way to the west. So you can see the Nest building and then the Life building, what we're calling the Recreation Gallery, or the space between the existing Life building and UBC Rec. And then the public realm space to the north. You can see how the buildings really define that exterior public space. And this one looking along the Bosque to the east. So with the public realm on the left-hand side here, then the rec building with quite significant amount of glazing facing the Bosque, and then the recreation gallery in that space there. So just a site plan. So the primary access for the building is the north entrance here. And just pragmatically, that would be the firefighter access with a 15-meter access route from the fire truck access coming around in the roundabout arrival court area, and then extending into the public realm area in kind of an inconspicuous sort of way. It's not really meant to be a prominent feature, but it will be there functionally. And then just a quick note that the existing Life Building firefighter access is currently on the north side of the Life Building, and we're proposing to move that to the east side with fire truck access along the basically Athletes Way between the rec building, the loading bay, and the student rec center. So the building height and massing. So the top one is an elevation of the north facade that faces the public realm, and then a section running east-west, showing the gymnasia volumes on the left-hand side, the public walkway in the center there, and the fitness space to the right-hand side or the west side. And there was a deliberate kind of forming to the height of the building as it changes from east to west. So kind of creating a bit of a foreshortened perspective condition to reduce the perceived height of the building. This is just a view of the north entrance. So we'll show a few renders here just around the building, showing the various conditions. Again, this is the public exterior walkway that connects the north-south, sloped down to the north public realm. The north entrance here to the right-hand side with that public walkway, and the gyms kind of in the center here with the running track above. The interface, so this is looking from the Bosque to the east, looking at the west entrance with the new kind of connection up from that level to level 1 of Life and that exterior concourse. And then the space between Life and Rec with the gyms on the right-hand side, and the south entrance to Rec on the right-hand side, and the existing entrance, the north entrance to Life on the left-hand side. And then coming down Athletes Way, looking to the north with the running track above and the retaining wall of the loading bay. We'll talk a bit more about later. So I think to really understand the concept and appreciate that idea of the exterior walkway, we need to understand the existing accessibility conditions. And I'm sure a lot of you are quite familiar with these, probably experienced them personally. So from the lower level of Life, there's really the only accessible connection is through somewhat awkward circuitous ramp condition shown here. And then from level 1 of Life, there's really no accessible connection to that north public area currently. And so this building really strived to make those connections through the building, with the building, to that public realm to the north. So this diagram basically shows that. So that exterior walkway condition sloping down at a grade of less than 1 to 20, so less than 5%. So not actually considered a ramp, avoiding all handrails, etc. But sloping down to the north public realm area. A new entrance from the west, which has a shared vestibule that connects into level 0 of Life and level 0 of Rec. And then also that new west connection from the level 1 Life concourse exterior down to the level of the Bosque on the west. So like I've kind of said, the main entrances, there's one on the north, basically directly from the plaza, and there is a slope down to that entrance, and then an entrance on the south, which is at level 1 of the Life and this building, and then a new west connection. just 3 views of those. So on the left-hand side, the new north entrance, the new west entrance on the upper right, and the south entrance on the bottom right. So just quickly to walk you through the plans. This is level 0, what we're considering the lower level, and this basically the yellow here aligns with the same level as UBC Life. So there's a fitness component on the left-hand side, which is behind control. So you have to walk through gates to get to that. And then on the right-hand side are the multi-purpose rooms, 2 of those, the change room component, sub and min, and then back of house on the right-hand side, far right-hand side, which interfaces with the existing loading bay that services the Nest building, as well as the Life building. And up to level 1. So this level shows this is basically at the level of the existing Life concourse, which slopes down to the north with that exterior walkway. And then you can see the entrance, on the south entrance, to a landing with an elevator that can take you down to level 0, as well as stairs that go down to level 0, and a stair that goes up to level 2, which is the running track. And just quickly here, on the right-hand side, a gym lobby that services all 3 gymnasia with an elevator and stairs to access that. And then fitness on the left-hand side. This level 2, so a 200-meter walking track wrapping around the gymnasia with exterior mechanical there. The stair and elevator continue to carry up, and then that stair from the south entrance carrying up to fitness and another multi-purpose room that faces out to the north Bosque and public realm area. And then finally, level 3 on the west side is more fitness space, some mechanical, and a component of exterior fitness space. And finally, the roof, a few skylights strategically placed, and then you can see the outdoor mechanical and outdoor fitness, as well as continuous guardrail all the way around the building. Okay, so the public realm, or the public spaces of the building are basically being able to be accessed by anyone. They're not behind control. And so this was the running track space, the gymnasia, as well as the complete lobby atrium space, shown in magenta or pink here. So this is a view from the south entrance. So just as you come through the vestibule, you can look on the left-hand side, the stair going up to the running track level, and then the stair going down on the right-hand side to the main lobby space. And so there is this kind of main, basically 3-story lobby atrium that provides views to all the different levels and program, as well as on the right-hand side views from the exterior walkway looking down into that space. So lots of visual connections throughout the project. And then a view from the running track looking to the northwest. This is a shared gym, so it's actually 2 full-size competition-sized gyms that would have a dividing curtain at times and could be open. So it is quite a vast space in this area. We tried to strategically place glazing, particularly on the ground floor level, to not only provide connections from the exterior looking in and creating a relationship to the fitness and gymnasia components there, but also views out from the facility to the public realm to create that passive surveillance and address some of the septet issues around the site. Strategically placing those to ensure that most areas are covered with that visible connection. Just one example of that is looking from level 0 of the fitness space to the northwest out to the Bosque. And that's one area we've used a double height space to really reinforce that connection to the exterior. Another key idea was utilizing the overhang or cantilever of the running track to provide weather protection, continuous weather protection along the full north edge and on the south edge. And then also utilizing a portion of the fitness space to cantilever over the west entrance to provide weather protection there and create kind of open, inviting massing for that entrance. And just a view of that along the north entrance with that covered area. And the north entrance as well being quite generously covered for weather protection. And then considering solar access, both to the recreation gallery, the space between life and rec, we really carefully studied the proportion of that space, the dimensions across, as well as the materiality of the cladding in that area, and a number of other things we'll touch on a little later. And then considering the building mass and how it shadows the north public realm area. So really shaping that mass, pushing back that northwest corner, as well as down to reduce the height on that side and allow maximal sun to the public realm area, this area here that faces the bosque. Yeah, so a little bit more about that space between. I think that we really felt that was a very important area to understand and study. We're interfacing the UBC Life North face. And so considering the materiality of that building, transparency of that building, as well as our building, this building, the proportion of that space along its entire length. So looking at, for example, here, 4 different sections along it. This one on the upper left-hand side showing the interface to the loading bay and the below and the running track above, and the proportion of that walkway there, which we'll touch on later as well. And then on the upper right-hand side showing the interface of the alignment of the entrance to UBC Life with the exterior walkway and how the proportion of that space works. On the bottom left, showing the interface into the gymnasia and views there and creating those connections. And then on the bottom right, showing that entrance vestibule, south entrance vestibule, and the stair going both up and down and the connections there. Yeah, so this view showing that. And I think here this shows the soffit, and we studied a number of different material colors and materiality itself in this area, both the soffit and the cladding and such. And I think we've developed it a little further than this to kind of reinforce this interface to the building at the lower level. Those areas now becoming much more light and bright and luminous. And then the upper area becoming a little darker to reinforce that concept with some contrast. We'll show some images later on that speak to that. So one other area that I think still requires further study, but the west edge and the entrance and the ramp up to the level 1 concourse. Existing photos shown on the left side kind of show that current condition, and the following render, sorry, a bit of lag. There we go. Yeah, so this west entrance, just understanding how this accessible connection would work, sloping down to the bosque level and then further sloping down into the west entrance. This was something that UDP touched on where further investigation and study is going to be required. So one other existing condition that the project inherited and strives to address is the existing loading bay that comes off of Student Union Boulevard on the west side of, the east side of the project. So some existing photos of that, both on the upper level, it has implications, as well as how it interfaces to the building on the lower level. So just looking at that upper walkway area, on the left-hand side, you'll see what the existing condition looks like with the new building there, and how, as many of you may be familiar, how narrow that walkway is between that retaining wall down to the loading area and the life building face, where there are exit doors that come from a large exit stair there, shown there. And then what the proposed condition is on the right-hand side to really widen that and reinforce and encourage that connection from Athletes Way to that recreation gallery. This image again, just showing that connection and how important it is to really open up that and create an inviting connection there to the east-west. And then briefly touching on materiality. So given the scale of the building, we really carefully considered not only the color of the cladding and exploring that, but also the module, both the transparent element and the solid element. And you can see that here. And we also chose to introduce kind of an in-between materiality where there is some transparency or translucency there, where you may not be able to get a full view through, but light would kind of filter through in a more dappled way, and there's kind of an implied occupation behind that. And then the right diagram showing kind of the concept of how we treat corners and transparency. And then further to that, understanding the interior program and where there are moments of intensity in the interior and where glazing may want to be positioned to provide maximum effect, both for interior and exterior viewers and occupants. And then utilizing the rules that we previously created and applying them in these ways around the building on the west and north elevation. Let's view that. And then, so this is where we're showing the two different color schemes. Presented these to the AUDP, and there was very much support for the darker color scheme with the lighter entrances. I think this one really highlights the strength of that concept. And then one final view in Recreation Gallery. And this is one area where that materiality is really, really important. Just with the penetration of light down in there, sunlight, but also reflecting it back and creating as luminous a space as possible in this area. And then a couple of final views looking from along Student Union Boulevard to the west. Just a nighttime view to kind of highlight that concept of this glowing lantern, particularly on a dark day, which seems to be behind us right now. And then a final image, just to show that connection, reinforcing that extension of the public realm through the Life building, through this building to the exterior public realm on the right-hand side, and how that is exterior, the relationship both in that north-south connection, but also visually in the east-west, getting those views out to the Bosque through the fitness activity. And then also highlighting the lower connection there. That's it.